Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Get Real with Danny. Today is such an exciting episode because I have one of my very good friends here again. She was spoken here before, and I can't get enough of her. And I'm sure you guys will feel the same way because she just has so much to give. And I wanted to share so much of what she has to offer because she's helped me in so many ways, especially in 2025. And we just need to dive into the things that she really does to help the people that she helps and talk about what her work is because it is so powerful. Firsthand experience here. So, welcome back, Shawn Prestie, hypnotherapist, and just absolute wonderful person. So, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be back.
Yeah, it's like we talk all the time, but it's like in this experience in this atmosphere, I just really want to share more about what you do and the things that I've learned from you is just it's more about like how I've connected to my body and
Mm.
connected everywhere and like maybe even give a little rundown in terms of like what is most important to you when you are working with someone and especially when you're dealing with parts and people who are disconnected because I was very disconnected from my body, like share a little bit more about like what that impact is and why you focus so much on the parts side of things.
hmm So I work a lot with the parts and I focus a lot on alignment. So that's a big, big word in my own practice. And it's almost a buzzword in the world these days. Like when you're watching your social media, there's often a lot of alignment. This isn't aligned, this isn't that. And what that means for me in my work is that you are leading from a space, and I don't mean leading like you're a leader, maybe you are, but everything you do comes from a place that feels right within you. And what happens to a lot of people, myself included, is when we're younger, we're our subconscious mind is open. We're in actual hypnosis from the time we're 0 to 7, and that's science. Like you can listen to a lot of professionals out there, you can do the research, but we are wide open. Our subconscious is open. We're in the theta state. We are essentially in hypnosis from 0 to 7, and we're absorbing everything in the world. We're learning things like with words. We're even learning things before we know how to speak. We are interpreting the world as kids, and we don't quite understand exactly what everything means because we're children, right? And so a big part of my practice is parts work because when we're smaller, you develop these parts, we call them, and it's a part of you, and it's embedded in our language. So when I'm about to say when I say what I'm about to say, it'll all make sense. You'll say like, a part of me just doesn't want to do this thing. A part of me wants to stay home. A part of me really hates doing this, right? It's like this language that we say. And so what we look at in my work when I work with people is what parts are there that are causing you to do things in your life that you know aren't right for you, that you know aren't serving you, that you know aren't what you want, like whether it's a behavior, a pattern, a belief, whatever it is. And with hypnosis, we can actually go to the root of that part. We can understand why that part was created and we can shift it. We can tell that part, you know what? You're not a little kid anymore. You're not 5, you're not 2, you're not 3.5, you're not a baby, you're not even in the womb. It's even been in the womb sometimes because they say that what is it, the last 3 months of pregnancy, you can even absorb things from your parents. I personally believe it's before that, but regardless, it can even happen in the womb. And we create these parts essentially to keep us safe in some way. They're created to fit in. They're created to make sure we're loved. They're created to make sure we don't get in trouble. That so we're still part of the family. We're still part of whatever it is that we need in those moments. And some people might think, well, I had a really good childhood. It doesn't matter. You could have parents that were child psychologists, like the top in the world. You're still a kid and you're still going to interpret the world in your own way. And there may be other things that you know you're stronger at in life because of the way that your parents raised you. But also if you look at siblings, right? You can have two kids that have the same parents, but they have wildly different experiences of situations, of times in the life, of whatever's going on, different personalities, different, I've had conversations with my sister before where it's like, that's not how it happened. Or
Yeah.
I don't remember it like that. Or, like, and it's because we're two separate people. So we interpret the world, we take in the world in different ways. And so parts work is, in my opinion, and I've even had the conversation with clients after we do it, and maybe you can even speak to this, is that it really, really helps you get to know yourself. Because when you are checking in with that part, you find out that yes, the part was created because you felt like you weren't able to be close to your mother, for example. And so when you were able to do this thing, then you would stay close to your mom. And now you do it as an adult with other relationships and it doesn't quite fit. And then after the session, you can, when those things kind of come up, they might not come up as strong. Or if something starts to kind of bubble, you can say, hey, honey, I know what this is. This is this part. And we often name the parts for fun to make so that there's something connected to. Sometimes they don't have names, and that's fine too. And you connect to the parts. And then as you go through your life, you can kind of communicate with them and be like, no, we're good. We're good. We've got this all taken care of. We did the research. We made the phone calls. We made the booking. We've got the ticket. You know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah.
reassure it and give yourself a little pep talk. So I love to do parts because coming back to the alignment, keeping yourself connected to yourself is really important because we live up in our heads. We overthink, we over analyze situations when really, when we just can drop into the body and get to know ourselves more, we can really make empowered choices. We can say yes when we mean yes, not because we feel guilty or we feel scared that someone's going to get mad at us or your partner's going to leave you or your boss is going to get angry. We say no when we really mean no because we don't have the capacity for it or whatever it is. And that's the big part of the alignment is getting these parts on board with your life now. Did,
Yeah.
did that all
And
make sense?
yeah. And like the biggest thing that I feel like kind of rings through it all is like, the safety aspect is like
Mm,
there's parts of us that are completely wired to keep us safe, right?
mm,
And when we're letting that kind of guide, when we're kind of on the like we're letting those parts of us, those younger versions of us, which like I worked through that too, is like they're trying to be the protectors, they're trying to keep us safe. But we're in a situation where it's like, yeah, I'm an adult now. I can keep myself safe. And
mm,
being aligned with like, okay, what is a yes or a no for me right now versus like asking your 5-year-old self that doesn't really make sense, right? Like it's trying to
mhm,
align with everything that you're going through right now and understanding why you're reacting that way because of what that 5-year-old went through, that version of you, right? And all of those words, what they've went through to get to this point of like, okay, why am I not saying yes to these things that I want to say yes to?
mhm,
Why am I not saying no, right? And like
mhm,
I felt like for me too, like you're starting to understand like, yeah, why am I going this direction? And even when my body, which I didn't realize maybe at the time, that my body was yelling like, don't do that. And then it's like,
yeah.
oh no, like my body is trying to tell me something, and now I now know how to like listen and not stay up in my head and overthink things, which is, you know, so common for all of us to do, is like we don't know how to connect to our bodies. So being able to make that connection and learn how to make
Mhm,
that connection without feeling overwhelmed is like has been so
mhm,
helpful. So how do you start to help people? Like I think the biggest thing is like learning how to connect, learning how to like stop being so in your mind and start to
mhm.
like come down, because coming into your body, like how do you start to help people to do that?
Good question. Because we all live up in our heads. And I always like say to clients, like we live up here, from the cheekbones up is kind of where our mind is, right?
Yeah.
And we ignore our body and we're not trained to feel our emotions. We're not trained to understand that they're messengers. They're here to tell you that your boundaries are being pushed, that there's something scary, that you're not being respected, that you're like that's a whole other podcast,
Yeah.
but they all come up. And when we learn to slow down, and one of the things that I often start with clients is getting them to just start noticing what they're thinking. because that is like, are there repetitive thoughts? That's a big thing. And then somatically going into the body to really start to learn what is yes, what is no. And at first, it may need to be where you sit down, you do this practice, and then once you learn your yes and your no, then you can start to put it into your life. And it may look like, I have a decision to make. I need to go home and think about it. And then you go home and sit and, thinking about it's kind of like what we say, but really it's, I need to go home and sit with it. I need to go home and feel it. Is this right for me? And then you can do the practice that I'll show you on here, and we can do it. And, the people who are listening can do it as well. And it's basically, I call it the aligned body check-in. And it's just a somatic practice that you don't need to do it uh, like with me. You don't need to do it or listen to a recording multiple times. You just need to do it once.
Yeah.
And then once you feel the yes and once you feel the no, then you just need to sit with your decision. And it can be a simple decision like, what if it, like, I started using this mostly with myself when I was in the full flat out burnout and I had no energy to do anything. And I would be laying on the couch, just depressed and feeling so miserable. And I knew that I had to get up and do something. I
Mhm.
knew that just laying there is not what I wanted. It's not how I wanted to feel. I knew that I had to get up and do something, but it was like, what do I actually need? What does my body actually need? Because me, it was just like, go get some more candy and put on another episode on Netflix. Like, that's not what I actually need. So I would do it, and it would be something like, I just start throwing things at myself. Okay, should I get a glass of water? And then I would just see how that felt, the yes or the no. And it's like, yes. Okay, so I'll get a glass of water. Okay, now what? And then
Yeah.
maybe it's like, a big one I always say to people and for myself is, go eat a banana. If you
Yeah.
can handle bananas, because I know some people cannot handle bananas, but I just go eat a banana. This gives you that potassium. It's just great to kind of break the state. And so it would often be, I'd start with a banana and water.
Mhm.
And then maybe it's like, do I need to move my body? Body, do you want to be moved? Like, what is it that you want? And then then you can also do it from a perspective of, um, I'm presented with the situation, to, I don't know, go to a party, let's just say that. And do I really want to go? And maybe in the back of your mind, you've all week, you've just been like, oh, I just can't wait till the weekend so I can go to bed early. I'm so tired. That was like the looping in my life for a long time. And maybe you've been invited to this party on your Friday and you want to go because you don't want to miss out,
Yeah.
but you know that you're going to be exhausted, or maybe you want to go because you feel like your friend's going to be mad because you didn't go to the last two parties they had, just an example.
Yeah.
And so then you could check in with this and say, like, do I really want to go? And your body will tell you, your body will say no. Or maybe it's a decision like, should I do this thing in my business? Should I make this choice? Should I spend this money? Should I buy this thing? Should I go here? Should I do what should I do? This or that? It's a really great way to tap into your body. And so I would love to do it with you. And then if anybody who's listening, you want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it. And
Yeah.
I think it's again bridging the gap of like the
Mhm.
being in your head and then the understanding and the knowing.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's give the
Okay.
people a little taste of like what
Yeah.
Shawn does, because this is a part of it, right? We
Yeah.
want to be able to start to understand ourselves. So
And we're going to actually do it. I'm not just going to give you the podcast version. This is going to be the version of doing it. So if you're listening, you know, go grab your headphones, close your eyes. If you're driving or doing anything that requires your attention, wait, don't do this
yeah,
now.
please be in a safe
Yeah.
space first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want you to be in a place where you can really stop and you can really listen. Like, don't do it while you're unloading the dishwasher or cleaning up, which is often when I listen to podcasts anyways. You want to be present. So
Yeah.
first, before we get started, I want you to think of and so let me just back up a sec. What we're going to do is we're going to determine your personal yes
Mhm.
from your body and your personal no from your body. And there's often similarities with people, but it's unique to you. Okay.
Mhm.
So we'll start with the yes. So I want you to think of a situation in your life where the answer to the decision, whatever it was just a big, huge heck yes. Like it was like, yeah, I'm doing that. And there's just no doubt. It could be accepting a job. It could be the paint color that you painted your wall. It could be, a class you decided to take, anything. Can you think of something?
For me, it's saying yes to Matt when he asked me to marry him. So I was like, yeah, it
Amazing.
was
Yeah.
100% yes. So it was like, oh my gosh, like there's answers obviously
And
yes. Yeah.
I can even start to see your
Yeah.
body. Yes.
I'm like, I'm
So
like, I'm like, of course. Yeah. Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now I just want you to close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, just allow your body to settle. Just take a couple of breaths. There's nothing to do. We're not going there just quite yet. Just inhaling and exhaling and just letting your body settle, listening to my words. And let's settle in a little bit even more and just imagine a beautiful color of purple running in through the top of your head and down through your body, out through the bottoms of your feet, just grounding you in and settling your body a little bit more. Good. And then I want you to bring in that yes memory, that heck yes memory, and just imagine it. Imagine it in your mind. And you might even start to notice yourself like smiling or lighting up, or maybe even feeling the need to giggle a little bit or something else. But just let it come in and notice how it feels in your body. Notice if there is expansion or if there's a warmth, a tingling. Maybe there's some sort of sensation that you feel, and just take note of that. Feeling it, letting it come. You don't have to hold back here. And then once you've got that, open your eyes. And how was that?
Oh man. I was like, I wanted to jump up and down, really.
Yeah.
One of those things, like, yeah, the giddiness, right?
Yeah. And so what were kind of the experiences in your body, like the sensations that you experienced?
Like even my heart was felt like fluttery, but like in like not a nervous way, but in like oh my gosh, yes, this is happening. And like just
Yeah.
I felt like instantly I was like put myself in that, and I'm like my face is gonna like I feel like I'm turning into a clown. Like that's how big my I was like,
Yeah.
is my smile getting huge? I was like, just like really feeling like I could just be in that moment too. Like it just felt so like
Right.
I'm back in that moment of excitement and just
Yeah.
giddiness. It was, yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. So it brought in like a sense of presence almost because you
Yeah.
feel yourself back there.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so
Yeah.
the flutteriness in your chest and the giddiness, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So that is your yes. And so it doesn't have to be the same if somebody's did this alongside you while you were doing it. It doesn't have to be the same. It can be different. For me, when I get a yes, I get this warm feeling in my chest and I feel expansion. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
an expansion in my chest.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's do the no. Maybe we should have started with the no so we can end. We can come back to
It's
the yes.
okay. It's okay.
Okay, so now the no, I want you to think of a time in your life, a situation or a decision that you had to make where I'm not saying that you knew beforehand it was a no, maybe you did,
Mhm.
but even after the fact, you knew that it was a no. And this could be like saying yes to a project or saying yes when you meant no
Mhm.
in your life. Or I'm just trying to think of some examples that just basically there, maybe even it was something that where you had regret afterwards and you're like, I shouldn't have done that. I should have said no. I shouldn't have committed to this because it just didn't work out. It wasn't what you wanted. And it can be something that you were even proud of. Like it doesn't have to be like a full-on failure no. It can be something that you did that you're proud of, but you didn't actually want to do it.
Mhm.
It just is something coming up.
Yeah, there was a moment. And I don't know if this is a no, in the sense it's like yeah, like I couldn't believe the way I went through it. I don't know if this is going to be the same thing, but like having someone say like, "Oh, like I make fun of your content," or something like that. Like someone be saying a mean thing about my business and what I
Hmm.
do.
Okay.
And I just like I knew what my body felt like in that moment when that was happening. I was like, I don't want to be in conversation with this person. And so, I was like, I'm going to end this. It's just going to be like a polite, like, thank you for, like, essentially, I was like, thank you for being so honest. That's it for me. Right. So it was just,
Right.
but like, I
Yeah.
felt my body just, oh, it was just like lit up. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
we'll
so it was
probably fall into that right now. Fall
yeah.
into that
So
right
that
now.
was like a choice of whether you should engage or not in a
Yeah. It
sense.
was like this is a no for me for this, being having this
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
around me, anything. Yeah.
Yeah, because content, when someone pokes fun of your content or points it out, that can be a huge thing as a small business owner because you're putting
Mm-hmm.
your life into that. And so
Yeah.
you just, yeah, amazing. I think that's perfect. Okay, close your eyes.
We have to go there, I guess.
Just quickly, we're not staying there.
Mm-hmm.
So just allowing your body to settle in. Nice deep breaths. And then just let your shoulders relax as you exhale. And bringing in that purple again, in through the top of your head, down through your body, and out the bottoms of your feet. Just allowing that purple to relax you a little bit, just centering you, giving your mind something to look at, something to watch, something to feel as that purple moves through you. And then go ahead and bring in that no situation. Bring it in. Just let it play out in your mind. We're just going to stay here for a second. We're just gathering information. And just play that situation in your mind and see, feel, experience through your body what that no is like. Is there constriction? Is there wanting to run away? Is there color? Is there anything that your body is doing? There can be vibrations that you feel, energy that you feel that moves through you. Maybe there's tightness, whatever it is, just notice it. And then as you notice it, we're just taking a snapshot. We're collecting data. You don't need to stay here. And then when you're ready, just allow that situation to fade and disappear in your mind. And then go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready.
Yeah. Not comfortable. Like it's very uncomfy,
Right.
right? Like just
Yeah. And what did you feel?
like like my lips were even like felt like they were quivering. Like I felt like a shakiness. I felt, yeah, like very like my chest was, yeah, I didn't feel that flutter. I felt like the tightness in my
Mm-hmm.
chest, just like the like, okay, let's just get out of this. Let's go. Like let's move out of this. Like that. Yeah. Well, as soon as you said like the runaway, I was like, yeah, I would like to run away now. Like I would not,
Right.
I'd like to not be in this situation anymore.
Right.
I just felt that like need to just like escape kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out. Yeah.
And so there's your no.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that came to my mind is differentiation between having fear and having excitement around a situation. And
Mm-hmm.
it's perfectly okay when you're presented with a decision, when you're presented with something, to sit with
Mm-hmm.
yourself and say, okay, what do I want to do here? Body, what do we want? Like, let's use our full being to make a decision versus just a snapshot decision. And there's nothing wrong with, I'm a very quick decision maker. I often will make decisions very quickly, but I have also practiced this for a while, and often the decisions that I do make quickly come from experience of listening to what my body says.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the reasoning has to catch up because it's not quite there. I'm like, I just know it's no, but I don't know why. And I have to wait for a bit. Or sometimes it's no, but I really want to. Well, then do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And that's the other thing is like
yeah,
it's you're trusting yourself more, and
exactly.
because I feel like, I don't know, it's just coming to my head like when we're so in our head, it feels like we're unable to trust ourselves as much because our body is like,
Hmm.
hey, like we're a big part of this decision making process and you're not listening to us. Like you're gonna feel a little lost if you're saying like yes and no to the things that you're trying to say no and yes to, right? And
Yeah.
it's like being able to, like, I remember when you first introduced the Align Body Check-in to me, I was like, whoa, I get it now. I understand myself. Like it was like
Hmm.
a door just opened. So I hope to anyone who's listening is like, I hope you just had that moment for yourself to truly like sink into those
Mm-hmm.
feelings and to understand what your body's trying to say. Because when I went through that no situation, because I've done some of the work leading up to that situation, I was able to not just listen to my body saying like just run away, like no no no. It's like, okay, well, I also need to like stand in my ground. I need to trust myself that I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna like get through this and I don't have to worry about anything. I just know that this is the line I'm gonna draw, the boundary I'm gonna set, and that's it. Whereas in the past I would have wanted to run or make a scene or, those kinds of things. And
Yeah.
once you start really listening to your body, you're going to respond to things differently too. Like that's what
Mm-hmm.
I found is like I respond differently because I'm trusting in the response that I want to make, because I'm like, this is a yes to the way I want to respond to this. And I think sometimes we're just lost in like, I need to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Like the impulsivity can come out in the wrong way, or it's like the impulsivity comes out in the way that's like, I'm fully trusting myself and I'm listening to, I'm saying exactly what I need to say in this moment.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, the self-trust thing has been huge. And I think this listening to your body, listening to what it's saying, will
Yeah.
just build that, continue to build it. And
Exactly.
yeah.
And if you're doing it and you come into a situation where your body is saying no, but then your mind starts to spin and overthink, well, if I say no, then da 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 is going to happen, and insert your personal life spiral in that moment because of
Yeah.
where it goes. Like so and
Yeah.
so's going to be mad, they're going to leave, they're going to did it, whatever it is.
Mm,
Then there's some other work to be done because
yeah.
now it is in front of you that the answer for this thing that you're going to do is no for you,
Mm-hmm.
but you're feeling pushed into it. Then maybe that's an opportunity where you can do, I mean, you could either work with me or
Yes.
someone else,
Yes.
or you could say, okay, a part of me feels very afraid that if I say no, even though I want to, that this is going to happen. Whether it's, and you can insert whatever that fear is, or a part of me is feeling very anxious about saying no. And then pull the thread. Why is a part of me feeling anxious? Well, I'm afraid that they're going to get really mad at me. And what
Yes.
happens if they get really mad at me? Right. And it often comes from it always comes from our past and our need to people please, our need to over deliver, over give, show up in a way that is not aligned with who we are. And it's okay to say no. And I mean, you've probably heard this, and I'm sure everybody who's listening has heard this, is that when you assert a boundary, the only one that is bothered by it is the person it's inconveniencing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that can be really uncomfortable for people, myself included. I was a hardcore people pleaser all through my 20s and most of my 30s and
Yeah.
until like about 10 years ago when I started doing this work. So
Yeah.
it's it's definitely a journey, but there's always a way to heal that part of you that does freak out when you're like, okay, my body's saying no. I hear it loud and clear, but I
Mm-hmm.
still feel like I have to do da 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 da, whatever it is.
Yeah. And
And
it feels like it's always, we're almost ignoring our body just to please others, right? Like we're
mhm,
just like, yeah, but I'm thinking so much about what they're going to think about what I'm going to say. And it's like, to listen to your body is to listen to yourself and to like give yourself the priority of like what you actually want. Like, and it's so funny that like it took going through all of the work to get there, but it's like no one else matters more than I matter, right? Like,
mhm,
and I know that sounds selfish. I know that can feel, especially if it's something that you haven't worked on, you might hear someone say that and be like, oh, they're so into themselves. It's like, no, like you truly are the only person in this world that matters the most to you. So you
mhm,
need to listen. Like you need to listen to yourself. You
mhm,
need to understand yourself. And you should want that, right? Like you should want to understand yourself so that you can truly just feel like, okay, every decision, and sometimes we're going to make decisions. I understand. We're going to make decisions that are like, okay, I said no when I wanted to say yes, or vice versa. And that's going to happen. It's not like
mhm,
once you do this, you're never going to do that or not listen to your body, because we're
mhm,
humans. But if you could lean into it more to say yes to what your body's trying to say, it's like,
mhm.
then you're going to feel so much more at ease in any
Yeah.
situation that comes up. It could be like the world ending, but you're like, okay, well, what do I need right now? Do like, it's
Yeah.
you're going to be more well equipped for any situation that you're facing.
Yeah.
It could be the smallest thing. And honestly, like working on the smallest things help you build up to those
Absolutely.
big things that are like, okay, this is a big life decision. And it's like, whether it's friendships, relationships that might have to end, and you're like, oh no, I've been feeling this, no, like I don't need this person in my life for so long, and now I'm
Hmm.
finally going to address it, like, right? So it could be, and it could be something small, but like it will at least give you the confidence to say, I'm listening to what
Yeah.
has been said over and over again
Yeah.
that I've been ignoring, and I can finally
Hmm.
have the courage to listen to it and to follow
Exactly.
through on the
Yeah.
decisions that might need to follow, right? And
Yeah. And
it's
I want to add on to that because sometimes people say, I hear people say, well, what if I don't listen to it? Well, not listening to it can also help you validate that you did hear it,
mm, yeah.
right? Because you're like, well, maybe it's a no, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then you do the thing and you're like, yeah, that was a no.
Yeah.
Huh. And I say that and I kind of laugh a little bit inside because when I first started learning to use my intuition, one of the common things I would do is I always hang my umbrella on the door handle leaving my apartment. And I'll look at it and I just like I do like a quick it's faster than the speed of light, the thought of do I need to take this umbrella or not? And in my mind I see an image of an umbrella, you know, when you like click the button and it pops
Yeah.
up and the thing comes out. I see that in my mind. And so that's my cue to bring the umbrella. You know how many times I didn't bring the umbrella because it was too inconvenient to carry and I'm like it's sunny out, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And I did need it. So it's a way that you can kind of play, bringing that creativity, that play into it and going, you know what, my body's saying no, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then afterwards, you can be like, yeah, I should have said no
Yeah. Right.
because it was something that did, you know, cause me a little bit of heartbreak that was kind of my own fault because I went into the situation and I know I shouldn't have. And when I say heartbreak, I mean like the whole range of things just not working out, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
But I don't want someone to say, well, I'm not going to do that because I don't hear it and I'm not going to like do the exercise.
Mhm.
See what comes up. And
Yeah.
then if you need to do it again, do it again. Listen to the podcast again.
Yeah. Yeah. Skip
And
ahead if you need to, just to listen to that part.
yeah, and just listen to it. Like that's the process I do with my clients. It wasn't shortened at all.
Yeah.
And we then you can get to know who you are, what your yes, what your no is, and you can almost work together as a team with your body
Mm-hmm.
because you're there. So why not use it? Our body is a huge tool that we don't use enough. That's why we're always up in our heads, right?
Yeah. Yes. Oh my goodness. And how, like, eye opening, mind opening, like body opening, right? Like it just feels like it just opens up a whole different door of understanding. And
Hmm.
that is, I think, what's missing for a lot of people these days is we're very locked into our minds. We're locked into like what other people are thinking.
Hmm.
And it's like we really need to focus on like what's our body feeling? Like what is
Hmm.
that telling us
Yeah.
versus there's so much external. I feel like
Yeah.
this is the key to really, you know, happiness in life. And like obviously life's not like happy joy all the time, but like to be able to have that like feeling of security and your understanding, I just feel
Hmm.
like that brings a joy that we don't really have otherwise if we're not paying attention to it. It's like, oh, what a great thing to be able to listen to my body and just listen to it when it's like whoa, or maybe it's like yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
what a beautiful thing to be able
Yeah.
to understand. Whereas, you know, if we're not hearing it or ignoring it all the time, then we're confused all the time of what's,
Yeah.
it's like, why is everything going, why is life not going the way I want it to? It's like your body's been screaming at you for so
Hmm.
long and you're wondering why your neck's flaring up and your back's in pain. And I know that sounds like it's dramatic, but it's something that I've dealt with. It's like
Yeah.
when I've been going down the wrong path in my life, all of a sudden my body is like, we've been yelling at you for so long
Yeah.
and now we're got to show up in some dramatic way, right? And
And I just want to outline too that when you say you're going down the wrong path in life, it can look like the right path, but it's not the right path for you because you're not going down it aligned with
mm-hmm.
yourself, with your own truth. You're going down someone else's path, maybe.
Yeah.
And it might work, but paying attention to what's your yes, what's your no, and instead of going, you know, straight down the line on their path or what the advice is
Mm-hmm.
of what to do, then maybe it's like, no, I just actually needed to be one step over to the left
Yeah.
or the right or upper or lower, like, whatever it is, or I needed to actually turn around and go the exact opposite way.
Right?
Who
Yeah.
knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so much out there. And I mean, especially January, it's
Mm,
New Year's resolution time, which I don't like those words put together. But, you know, maybe when you're thinking of a goal that you want to set for yourself this year, sit with it and sit with the reasons why you want it. Do
mhm,
you want to get in shape because you actually want to get in shape, or is it because you want to look a certain way?
mhm,
It's not wrong. If you want to look a certain way, that's amazing. Go ahead, do it. But make sure that that's truly what you want, not that you're doing it because of some external reason.
mhm.
Like you want to fit into some sort of, um, what do you call it? Like a type, and I've been
Yeah.
there. I
Yeah.
remember for years in my 20s, I want a six pack.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was only because I wanted people to be like, wow, she has a six pack. Now that I'm looking back on it, I don't even know if I could admit that back then,
Yeah.
but that's kind of what it came down to because I was just living in my head.
Yeah. And also trying to live for the expectations of others versus
Hmm.
listening to exactly what your body's trying to say. It's like, you know what? Like
Yeah.
I'm miserable. I have no energy, but you want a six pack? Okay, like I guess we're not getting the energy and the right.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool to have like there's like that alignment between what I do with my clients and what you do with your clients is
Yeah.
like we're essentially trying to find the things that line up
Hmm.
for you. We're not trying to just force you into something that's like, here, go do this thing and like it'll fix all your problems and it'll get you to your goal and then you're done. It's okay, what are the steps that feel like they're truly for you? And let's focus
Yeah.
on that. And it's that this work that you do just aligns with anything that you want in your life, right? Like you said,
Hmm.
like if it's your health, if it's some things that you need to work through from your past or your relationships, like it spans so far because as soon as you start to listen to your body,
Mm.
then you're like, oh, everything is just so much more clear now. It's like a, I don't want to say a magnifying glass because that's not really what it is. It's just like all of a sudden you're just like seeing everything for what it truly is, and you get to choose what
Hmm.
is it, what's the thing I want to pick and choose. And that's
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing.
Well,
So
and you're listening with your whole being. You're not
yeah.
just thinking through it. And
Yeah.
we're not taught to do that. You look at a lot of ancient civilizations and your gut is a big tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it blows my mind when people listen to themselves. And like even when I'm, meeting with a new prospective client and we're talking about their life, and if they say no because it's not the right time for them, I am celebrating them
Yeah.
because they've made a decision for themselves. That's not to say that, I might not, I don't want to say push them, but I might query a little bit, like, is this actually the no? Because I want to make sure it's truly a no for you because
Mm-hmm.
I am so proud of people when they stand up for themselves and they say, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I'm in. I'm doing that. Then amazing. Let's do it because you're listening to you. And
Yeah.
that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, because and sometimes that fear will make us say no right away. And
Hmm.
even our body's like, come on, that's like the thing
Yeah.
that we need, or that feels
Yeah.
like the right thing. And,
Yeah.
it's because we are so used to just bypassing that message, that connection.
Hmm.
It's like, this is my instant reaction. It's like, okay, but like, yeah, being able to not challenge it, but like
Hmm.
really dig into, okay, like do you feel like that's true to you? Do you feel like that message or that answer is true for you, like to your core? And like just a pause, right? Like
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go through the whole check-in. Sometimes it's like once you've gone through that a couple times, you
Yeah.
then know how to just pause and be like, okay, I don't have to like
Hmm.
sit and think about my yes or no anymore. It's just it's a automatic. You're just like, you just have practiced it so many times that your body,
Yeah.
you're just like, that connection is now healthy and alive. It's no longer this like duct taped together, potentially not even connected, just hanging by
Yeah.
a thread connection,
Yeah.
right? It's like it's
Yeah.
fully like lit up and going
It's on
all
board.
right. You're
Yeah.
and so it's like that's what we want is all of that, right? It's just
Exactly.
not the I mean, it's okay if it's taped together by duct tape, but if you want it to be stronger, it can be, right? It's not
Yeah.
like it'll never get fixed. It
Yeah.
it can it can I don't know if the word fixed is the right word, but it can
It can be reconnected.
reconnected. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good word. Yes. So
Yeah. Because we
it's
have it. And if you look
yeah.
at kids, they're the
Mhm.
perfect example,
Oh
right?
yeah.
They go through life, like look at a baby. I mean, they don't have the language skills to be like, "Hello, mommy, I'm hungry," right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they'll just scream.
Yeah.
They have a poopy diaper, they scream. They're uncomfortable, they scream, right? It's like, I'm not getting what I want. So,
Yeah.
or you get little kids and their parents are like, say this. And they just look
Mhm.
at you, they're just
Yeah.
eyes are wide and they're just looking. And they're like, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they maybe chase, I guess could be the right word, where they just chase what brings them joy.
Yeah.
And as we get older, we get stuck in this trap of, well, we have all these responsibilities. Well, you're right, we do. That's true.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that just because you have to pay your bills means you have to sacrifice your joy. So maybe you have a job that you don't love. That's okay.
Yeah.
Is it sucking the life out of you? Then maybe it's time to get a new job or understand the parts of you that are over giving, over delivering, not aligned with yourself, so that you can shift those parts to heal them, to be like, not afraid to say no, not afraid to take on another project, so that maybe that job that you're not crazy about, but you can handle it because it pays for your life. It can afford you your home and your vacations and whatever it is that you want. Or maybe you're like, you know what? No, I just want to do something else. Or maybe the job is something that's okay to do, and then you pick up a hobby of something that really lights your fire.
Yeah.
It could be like art or something, some kind of movement like dancing or cycling or skiing or whatever it is,
Yeah.
just tapping into that so that you can follow that joy in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it really
Hmm.
sounds like the more that you connect to your body and have that connection, the more joy that you're able to even have because you're aware of how your body's responding to things and
Hmm.
distinguishing what is joy and what's fear and what's, yes and what's no. That connection essentially helps you better understand even the emotions and the feelings that you're having and to help you distinguish, okay, what are those things that are bringing me joy and leaning on those things and not
Yeah.
ignoring them and because I should be doing this or it's like we get lost in the shoulds
Hmm.
and it's what is my body trying to say? It's like we would love it if you did this and you're like okay i
Yeah.
can i can do that and then you feel good because you're attuned, you're aligned. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, joy comes from just being able to pay attention to it sometimes, right?
It
Like
does,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes I hear it a lot, not sometimes, is that when we are stuck in overthinking, overdoing, overgiving, people pleasing, we're all in our heads and we're overthinking every single thing we do, it's really hard to feel joy. It's real hard to imagine, like it's almost like there's a numbness to us because we're
Mhm.
on autopilot. We're just, yeah, we do that. And something else that I'll mention is the nervous system goes to things that feel familiar. It
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean that the familiar thing is good for you. It might not even be what you want, but it's familiar. And so that's where that's a way we can kind of see patterns that come up in our lives. You know what? I always end up doing this. I get this job, new job, and then all of a sudden I'm in the same pattern. Or I get this new partner, and then all of a sudden I'm in the same pattern. I slip into just abandoning myself and joining a new hobby that I didn't even know about
Yeah.
6 months ago.
All of a sudden you love pickleball and you're like, when did this happen?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought pickleball was about eating pickles last
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with doing something new and enjoying a new hobby with a new partner. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. It's just when you're sacrificing you
Hmm.
for doing those things and you're slipping back into those patterns that maybe you quit your job thinking, I'll get out of that pattern.
Hmm.
But if you didn't do the inner healing, you're still going to slip into the same pattern. And so
Yeah.
when you can learn your own yes and your own no, it's a really great place to start seeing where there's discrepancy, seeing where, you know what, my body's telling me no, but my mind is saying you better do this or
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And you can insert
Exactly.
your own scenario with
Yeah.
that. Then it's like, okay, so, and then we can, what I said before, be like, it seems like a part of me
Hmm.
is scared for blah, blah, blah because of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Amazing. This
Yeah,
is, I think, going to be so helpful for so many people
I hope
to
so.
listen to and to they can instantly apply it. You can apply it today and you can already start to see a change and notice these things. And that's what's so beautiful about the work that you do is you're able to apply these things and
Mm.
just see things instantly versus it feels like you take all the parts and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, okay, all of these things I've worked on them slowly all together, but now it's like you take even this one piece of the aligned body check-in and already you can start to see the changes that it can make in your life. So I really
Mm.
appreciate you taking the time to walk us
Thank
through
you.
that because that is so powerful. And I want you to share with us, Shawn, how can people get in touch with you? How can they work with you? And what are some of the exciting things that are coming up for you in the near future?
Yeah, thank you, first of all, for having me. It was really great. I really hope that the listeners can take that and run with it and get to know themselves a little bit better. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Cedar and Spirit. And my website is www.cedarandspirit.com. And a project that I am currently launching and have brought to birth is a lot of people, clients and whatnot, have told me, you have to put your meditations, you have to put your hypnosis recordings out into the world because they're so great. And I finally have put a vault together. So it's called Rooted in You. It's an audio vault, and there is a founder's rate currently. So if somebody does want to join in, they can join in for as little as $11 a month. And it is my gift to you where I am dumping everything into it. And so it's a collection of my hypnosis audios that is growing. I'm going to be adding to it. And then as we go through the year, there'll be various live classes, there will be challenges, there will be all kinds of fun stuff to really allow you to come together with people who are doing similar work or stay private in your own home with the audios. And every audio, I shouldn't say everyone because there's some really short ones just for quick drop-ins, but the audios could be used as something to help you with your anxiety, to help you with sleep, to help you with emotional regulation, feeling emotions, because it's another big one is people don't know how to feel their emotions. So this can help you bring them through. Um, Parts work, there's some spiritual stuff in there. So some, meeting your spirit guides and past life regression things will be coming. They're not there yet, but they're coming. And also parts work. I don't know if I said that already, but we'll have some parts work in there as well. And the idea is that you can come when you want. You can sit with it. It can be like a one and done and you're out, or you can, light a candle and get a cup of tea and sit and do the audio. And then there's journal prompts with everything. So you can take it a little bit further. So I wanted it to be a space that is accessible to most so that they can do the work. They can, say like something's not right in my life. I do this because hypnosis is so powerful at really getting to the root of why your behavior is the way it is and allowing you to shift it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's the Rooted in You audio vault, and that's linked in my Instagram or on my website. And I would love to see anybody in there.
Amazing. That sounds like such a wonderful resource for people to lean on if they're, maybe they don't know if they need that one-on-one support yet and they're just like I just need to like maybe dip my toe and I there's so much it sounds like that they're going to benefit from no matter what stage and
Mhm.
maybe you're in it. It sounds like you could just okay, today I'm feeling anxious, like how can I work through that? And then today I'm ready to dive into parts, so I'm going to dive into that. Like to have a variety
Mhm.
sounds like exactly what most people need is just to have something to
Yeah.
lean on in those times where it's like,
Yeah.
what do I need to, how
Yeah.
can I continue to build that connection and
Yeah.
really be into my body? So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
and the parts like they're you can really approach it as however you want. Like you said, you can go in like I'm really curious about myself, why I do this. So you can jump into a parts audio and see, and it'll guide you through the whole parts process.
Amazing.
Or maybe it's just like I'm really anxious today and I just want to, and so you're not doing any inner work. You're just
Yeah.
calming yourself. And linked to what I said earlier, the nervous system goes to what's familiar. And so when you're able to train your nervous system that it doesn't need to be in fight or flight all day long, every day, 24/7, your nervous system will start to trust that. And then you will be able to calm yourself. You will be able to regulate your own nervous system so that you don't feel anxious and like you're cupping yourself to the ceiling because you're so stressed out.
Yeah. We've all
Yeah.
felt that, I think.
I 100%.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you said that, I was like, I know what that feels like. Or I used to know what that felt like. But
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds amazing. And I'll definitely link everything in the show notes for everyone to be able to get a hold of you and to find you, because the work that you do is just so wonderful. And I appreciate you. And thank you so much for being here and for sharing your gift. And it's just so amazing. Go follow her, you guys. Go check her out. And thanks again for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you guys, I really appreciate you guys listening. And if you wanted to share this with someone, or you know that someone would really benefit from hearing this, please feel free to share it. And don't forget to also let us know if you enjoyed the podcast. You can either rate it, send a comment my way. You can follow me on Instagram. And I'll leave, again, all of Shawn's details in the show notes so that you can go follow her and get more information on how to work with her. But I really wanted to include some funny little bloopers, like thanks to Mel Robbins for this idea, because I think it's so funny. I had to include some funnies at the end of this, so enjoy. Thanks, you guys. See you next time.
If one person got sick, they'd be like, Shawn, make that thing. And so I would make like several liters of it and all of us would drink it.
That's such a good idea. I know
Yeah.
I'm like drinking latte, which is definitely not good for the throat. Milk is not ideal.
No, it always makes me phlegmy.
Okay, so
All
let me just
right.
like take a moment because I haven't gotten into like guest podcast mode in a while. So
No, and I haven't like, to be honest, I feel like this conversation is just going to be so authentic and so just in flow that I didn't prepare anything
me
because I
either.
feel like we
Yeah, I was like, we don't need to. I was like, I don't have any notes. Like,
I have a cup of tea and a crystal.
I love it.
Like,